Hi, it's Chris with Implied Music. Contrary motion. A melody goes up, a melody goes down. One of them's a harmony. Which one? I don't know. Contrary motion in strata, contrary motion in layers. It's a lot easier to conceive of independent melodies making up harmonies when you think of them in layers. Let's take a look at example piece today that uses the idea of contrary motion and strata harmony to really build a beautiful sort of fleshed out arrangement from really a simple melody and chords. Well, there's a flock of pigeons in my neighborhood, and they're not those rat pigeons that you get in the city, but they're beautiful. I love watching them. They fly together like this. One changes direction, and the rest of them change direction. And in music, we call that parallel or similar motion. And there's a few other kinds of motion that we talk about in harmony. There's oblique, where one line goes up and the other one kind of stays where it is. I find those kinds of harmonies the easiest to sing for myself. But a sophisticated notion is contrary motion. A melody ascends, the harmony descends. So please listen to this little piece of music. It's got a strong melody and a counterpoint that goes in contrary motion most of the time. Well, I guess the question is, how did I get there? So let's just roll back to the beginning and take a look at everything. So first of all, a very simple melody, which may be familiar to you from the chorale tutorial. I've changed it a little bit. And that melody has enough angles, leaps, and steps, a balance of tension and release in it to make for interesting counterpoint and sort of just energy. My next question is, what chords go along with it? Listen to these very simple block chords harmonizing the melody. We're in the key of C, and the chords flow rather smoothly from C to A minor to E minor, and then it starts again on the A minor. And I love this F moment, and then kind of a D minor 7. And it ends on G, and it feels like it might start all over again. This version of the melody with chords is okay. It's nicely voiced, and it conveys the harmonic language that I'm trying to get across. It's not very sophisticated and wouldn't be good for orchestral writing. So my next question to myself is, okay, how can I sketch this out in a way that begins to feel a little more mature? And so I'm going to go back to first principles and just imagine the melody with the bass line. And this is the melody with just roots. And I want to make choices about what direction I go to in the root to balance the melodic motion. In only one case does it go in the opposite direction of the melody. That's okay. So let's port it over to strings. And while we're here, I want to draw your attention to that inner voice. It might be a viola part, right? There's bass at the bottom and then the melody on the top. And honestly, this is a very nice expression of the chords and the melody in only 3 voices. It's not so different from the piano version that we just heard with just 2 voices. The big difference is that inner voice, and the big difference is the motion of the inner voice. While the melody steps up skips up, steps down. That inner voice is essentially stepping down, and it steps down yet again as the melody leaps up. And that contrary motion happens again in the second half of the phrase. You can see it just basically kind of does the same thing, doesn't it? And there's something about the beauty of that mirroring, even as the chords change, that really brings out something beautiful in the chord progression and suits the melody as well. I've thought of that inner voice as a new strata, as a new layer. Well, I imagine strata as layers of possibility. And so my next layer of possibility is a woodwind part. And I thought very high up on top. And I'm going to actually stretch out my strata concept. And not only will it be sometimes contrary motion, but it'll be texturally really, really different. So as you can see in this yellow, the woodwind part has this fast 16th pattern, scale motion against a sustained tone. And then again, as the melody ascends, the contrary motion in the woodwinds creates a little more tension and excitement. This is a nice trick to do with high winds, by the way. That wind part actually adds a new dimension, doesn't it? It's another strata. It's a high layer in a way, kind of like beyond and above the original melody. Well, I love what's happening. Let's bring in brass. And we're going to have brass now kind of following the energy of that viola line. Different notes, slightly different notes, but still creating that same vibe. And it really fills out the harmony, just kind of adding thickness. And we've added a slightly different rhythm right in this moment here, just a tiny little catch. It doubles the melody, but doesn't double the viola part. And I think adds kind of a lot to it. All right, let's continue. The next step I took thinking about it was, what if the bass line now has a little more animation? And so I went ahead and this measure here, I just gave it an eighth note run in sort of an act of filling out the energy of that sustained melody. So we have this moment when the bass can shine just for a second. And then finally, a little percussion just to emphasize things. Contrary motion is a powerful tool, and what it does for us as orchestrators is allows us to emphasize different layers. It allows us to bring out strata. If a harmony line is going the opposite direction from the melody, our ear is more likely to catch it. If the rhythm is slightly different from the melody, our ear is more likely to notice it. And it creates a supportive but sort of independent kind of energy. This is a very simple sketch with Albee and Neo. I haven't done any work for expression or even really that much in terms of panning and EQ. It's just an exploration of the idea, and I hope it's been useful. Well, like and subscribe, ding the bell, you'll be notified when I do my videos, and I'll see you next time.